Let's welcome Victor Genuino, the president and CEO of ePLDT. This is the Digital Business Solutions Group of the PLDT organization. So data centers, cloud, cybersecurity, managed IT service, all of this kind of stuff. This is the guy. So we're really glad to have him. We first met Vic when he was within the Meralco organization, where he really distinguished himself, the CEO of their MServe engineering group, M-Spectrum, and other activities he's had. So yeah, a big time guy, I guess you would say. Please welcome Victor Genuino of ePLDT. Really good to see you, Vic.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to be here in your forum. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First, I would like to congratulate the organizers of this event for a very successful turnout. On behalf of ePLDT and PLDT Enterprise, I would like to thank you for allowing us to share our message of transformation as we jointly emerge stronger during these challenging and unpredictable times. Allow me to start with the phrase, pivot or perish. It goes without saying that while this is all too familiar and may even sound cliche, the message it conveys resonates with resounding relevance today. Throughout history, we've seen how out of seemingly unsurmountable crisis can emerge new, fascinating, and incredible opportunities. Even more if traditional approaches and paradigms are questioned and challenged. For instance, over the past 26 months, the pandemic forcefully skyrocketed organizations headfirst into digitization and breakthrough innovations. And as a result, we've seen an unprecedented surge of digital technologies, new business models, and inspirational stories of successful business transformation. In fact, almost all of us have experienced these visible and prominent trends, such as the shift to hybrid working, online collaboration, and the drastic adoption of digital commerce, among others. And these are the facts. In 2022, there are 76 million internet users in the Philippines. That's 2.1 million more compared to 2021. On the average, we spent nearly half of our daily lives online. That's 10 hours and 27 minutes spent using the internet across all devices. There are 84 million Filipino Facebook users, 56 million for YouTube, 36 million TikTok users, and 19 million for Instagram. For e-commerce, 43.3 million Filipinos are purchasing consumer goods via the internet. This is a year-on-year growth of 11.4%, or an additional 4.4 million compared to 2021. Evidently, businesses and consumers have embraced and would seemingly prefer using and consuming digital or online services in most aspects of our lives, from the way we communicate, learn, study, work, play, and operate today, and most likely in the very near future. However, there are always two sides of the story. Unfortunately, a significant number of businesses were caught off guard and were driven into the unknown and into uncertainty. These were the harsh outcomes of the pandemic. It is not anymore a survival of the fittest, but rather survival of the swiftest, most adaptive, and most responsive. The World Economic Forum, JP Morgan, and Nikkei Asia in one particular article pointed out that those who recovered much faster had one thing in common. They were digitally enabled and capitalized on the uncertainty of the times. Companies who were able to use technology to address concerns that were not being addressed by stimulus packages had an advantage, and that leveraging on technology was the first and crucial step in ensuring that their business remained operational. In other words, they strongly referred to technology as a proxy antidote to the economic downturn. Therein lies the question: how can your organization remain relevant in this post-pandemic market? Is your enterprise visible to these 44 million digital eyeballs? Do you have the capability to actively engage over 76 million internet users? Or is the main question, how or where do we start our digital transformation journey? Much have been written about what drives digital hesitation, and there are real and valid reasons for this, such as resistance to change, the lack of digital expertise, or a digitally unskilled workforce. Next is not letting go of legacy systems and processes, and more importantly, the inability to keep pace with the ever-changing and evolving customer expectations and needs. The road to digitally transform can be overwhelming, but not embracing transformation and watching your enterprise become irrelevant or obsolete is not an option either. You either pivot or perish. Ultimately, organizations need a trusted partner that can help them cut through the complexities of their transformation journey and make technology work for their enterprise so they can focus on their core business. One such company committed to this feat is EPLDT. EPLDT has been the digital transformation partner of choice for enterprise for almost 2 decades. We believe that companies, big or small, can and should take full advantage of relevant technologies and solutions to secure and ensure business growth moving forward. At EPLDT, we're focused on understanding your specific pain points and providing technical and business solutions through our team of experienced consultants and industry practitioners, backed by a world-class telco infrastructure and ICT practice. We partner with you as we map out your business's strategy, planning, road mapping, architecting, solutioning, implementing, and management of these key systems. In other words, we will go through your transformation journey together. For instance, how can you ensure that your digital services are always accessible to your customers when they need it? How can you ensure always-on digital services for your always-online customers? An organization's worst nightmare might happen when we least expect it, and that equates to lost revenue because of system downtime brought about by unmaintained critical servers, overutilized computing resources, slow or delayed response times, or natural and man-made calamities. That said, mission-critical applications can be co-located in mission-critical infrastructure like our Vitro data centers, which provide 99.99% service uptime. EPLDT is the largest data center operator in the country with a network of 10 purpose-built data centers nationwide. And by 2023, the Philippines' largest and most advanced hyperscale data center will rise in Santa Rosa, Laguna. Because we adhere to industry-certified global standards, Vitro has remained the preferred primary data center of choice by enterprises both here and abroad, ranging from e-commerce companies, multinational organizations, and hyperscalers. Consequently, our partnerships with global cloud infrastructure service providers enable companies to scale up resources on demand to handle exponential workload increases. Another example is how can companies strengthen their respective cybersecurity capability and strategy, especially now that the world we live in, our homes, our workplace has become perimeterless. We have become more digital with a lot more devices connected to the network. However, this exposes us to a larger surface area of vulnerability. And if inadequately protected, the risk of cyber attacks and data breaches become more apparent. It is no longer a question of if, but when will a cyber attack occur and derail your business. Being cyber resilient means being prepared before, during, and after an attack. This requires organizations to predict, prevent, detect, and respond to threats. EPLDT utilizes the same framework in its own security practice. In fact, we ensure that the entire network of PLDT and Smart remains to be proactively protected against potential attacks. We can confidently do this for your enterprise as well. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, as we jointly navigate this post-COVID marketplace, allow us to help strengthen and transform key areas of your business operations to ultimately emerge more intelligent, resilient, innovative, and more importantly, relevant to your customers. We look forward to having a meaningful and engaging digital transformation conversation with you soon. Maraming salamat po.
Very good. Thanks, Vic. And Vic, I'm hearing more about this hyperscaler thing. Can you tell us more? What is this exactly?
Well, because the Filipinos consume a lot of data, right? And because we consume a lot of data, and you and I are on our devices, practically 24/7. This data needs to be stored somewhere. So look at the growth of Facebook and of Instagram and of TikTok. We need to ensure that when you pull this data out, the latency is reduced so that we are able to access your videos and all of your different applications in a more seamless manner. And all of this data will be stored in our hyperscaler data center facilities.
I see. And so they have to be bigger and better than usual to handle these large or global organizations. Is that right?
That's correct. When you say hyperscaler, it really means two things. It's the power that is being consumed by these individual servers is a lot more than a normal server that you and I use. And secondly, because of data and data consumption scales so quickly, we need to be able to scale these requirements as the data usage grows.
I see. Okay. Good. Well, that's important because I know there's so many of them now that are coming in. PayPal, I just spoke to a guy running that operation. They're doubling in size. But now I heard about this new operation you just started in Santa Rosa, and you just mentioned that. So how will that be bigger and better than a normal data center? Can you tell us?
It's a huge facility, Richard. We have a 5-hectare property, and when it will be completed by the end of 2023, it will consume a huge amount of power, roughly 50 megawatts of power, very, very big for its size. And secondly, it will contain a lot of rack space. So our 10 data centers combined will be equal to this one facility that we will have in Santa Rosa. So, and we're very excited about it. It's going to be the most state-of-the-art, most modern, and most importantly, the most sustainable data center in the Philippines.
Wow. And so this will be 5 hectares of what? Boards, memory boards, and so forth? What?
Yeah, it's going to be 5 hectares of data halls full of servers, managing the different data requirements of enterprises, hyperscalers, government in one facility. So we're very excited about that.
Gee, that's really something. And so now someone told me that Philippines, because of its central location and connectivity, this is going to be a big opportunity to manage, this kind of managed services of large global organizations, because nobody wants to do that in China anymore. I love the China. They've done great work, but there's going to be some problems selling that over there. But is this a reasonable opportunity ahead for countries like Philippines, and in particular Philippines, Vic?
Yes, it is. We're actually positioning this with the DTI as a country cell.
Okay.
We feel that the hyperscaler industry in the Philippines will be the next BPO. I think because of what's happening geopolitically across the region, as you pointed out. And secondly, because we're in a prime position to take traffic from both the US and Asia as a hub. So for most of these cable systems and data that crosses through the Pacific, it would most likely pass through the Philippines. And if we're able to position this as a country cell and attract more hyperscaler opportunities and investment, I think this can really be the next BPO.
That is so interesting. Wow. Yeah, that would be very, very exciting. Okay, Vic. Well, keep up the good work. Seems like you're a friendly guy. You can sell this thing to people. So good luck to you, and really good to have you part of the event, Vic.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Richard. Thanks for the opportunity. And please send my regards to Rebecca too. Thank you.
Okay. That was Victor Genuino of EPLDT. Really good to see him. Thanks again, Vic.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Richard.